Hey, how's it going? The next part. Please go check out the previous part to gauge your bearings. We're still talking about this problem, alright? Now let's just move on to the next part, to the next area of discussion. This issue with men weakening women so they can come in and rescue them. Initially, they think that they can do this and successfully take care of these women because they've got genuine, lofty delusions of grandeur where they feel like, okay, look, I'm sick and tired of living a strange life. I'm exhausted with my indiscretion. 1 minute, you guys. Yes, I knew that there was something wrong. There we go. Yeah, these guys are like, look, I'm genuinely just kind of unhappy with my indiscretion in life, so now I want a clean slate. A couple of nights ago, I dreamt about this dude, this guy that I was engaged to. Basically have conjuring up in his body a fantasy along the lines of, I want a son, and I want this time around to be a present dad, and this time around I also want to be a good husband, and just live basically I want to right the wrongs of the past. There is absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to right the wrongs of history. It's actually admirable. That's what the whole gospel is premised around, just people correcting the ways of their lives in the beginning stages of such lives as those. But it becomes absolutely fetishistic and problematic, therefore, when you want to do it like you're 20, when you want to do it at the age of 42 like you are still 20 years old. In other words, you actually also have a clean slate. You can successfully just erase the fact that you didn't raise your first batch of kids properly. So you want a volume 2.0, and you did not take care or love your first wife properly, so you want a version 2.0. So it doesn't, basically they want a fresh start. They want somebody that is fresh out of the box when they are basically finished off. And this guy is not the only one that I have had a dream of this nature with. I've also had a dream about my ex-boyfriend, but this happened months ago. The one that I dated for 5 years, literally married in this dream to a girl that was 19 or 20. My ex is 4 years older than me. I'm 38. Do the math. He's in his 40s. And in my dream, the wife that I understood he married was not in the equation. And in the house, the kid or kids, I don't know how many of them he's had so far, that he had with the first woman weren't in the equation. He was living in this house with a 19, 20-year-old, and his first kids and his first wife were not in it, not even in the slightest. And this 19, 20-year-old appeared to be very content and happy that she's gotten a husband. And in my dream, I remember thinking, where are your wife and kids? The ones that you basically pranced around in front of me to say, look, I married the woman that was the bane of your existence when you were dating. Because she was literally like a little mistress, a side piece in my relationship. That same chick that was giving me a whole bunch of grief when my ex and I were together. The two of us were the same age. We were both born in 1984. And in my dream, she wasn't even his wife. Basadi, this thing of yours fighting one another in a cockpit. Y'all don't understand what happens later on. She was at so much beef with me, this girl, because she basically met my ex first, passed him up because he did not have much in life. I groomed him and made him a man that other women would want, and then she started to be a thing that was irritating, scratch an itch up my neck during our relationship until I gave my ex an ultimatum and he got rid of her. Then he went and married that same woman that I couldn't stand. And the two of them, last time I checked, they had one kid. They might have had more ever since then. She also had a kid from some other place. It was a weird union. That thing was weird. It was just weird. Whatever. Alright? Yeah. In my dream, that cheeky, that literally gave me attitude on some, look, he married me. I get that, music video, yeah, Tony Braxton. Literally, that chick, when she was busy flailing my deadbeat ex in my face, all I wanted to be like, who do you think I am? Don't you know that he was my man? He was a man enough for me. What makes you think he'll be going to you? It makes no sense, cause he will never change. Girl, you better recognize a game. Did you know about us back then? With the whole music video on them, all it would take for that dude to cheat on me with me is for me to seduce him. He never got over me. But we're not trying to gloat like that. We're saved now, so we just shout. So we don't go and tell women that you dare probe me and literally scratch at me one last time. Get phonela boyfriend yao, ke tla phonela monna hao, and be like, let's meet. And o tla tsamaya a le ko magistrate court lo divorce now. Because Glenn Sharp, he's settled for you because I refuse to let him come back into my life. Do you know that he tried to come back to me? Girlfriend, he wasn't man enough for me. Anyway, whatever, like I said, we saved now, so we just give Jesus praise. We don't gloat about the fact that stop giving me grief about some dude. Y'all know the same chick from what I saw in my dream. Oh, face a ramification basically of Holota Mona that wasn't man enough for woman 1, woman 2, woman 3, woman 4, and now that you are woman 5, also was celebrated. Okay. They want to try and launder the mistakes they made at first with little spring chickens that are fresh out of high school. And in my dream, some little spring chicken was married to my ex, and I was like, yo, turns out that he did not change. Girl, I told you better recognize this game. Oh, did you know about us back then? Girlfriend, he was a man enough for me. Anyway, like I said, I'm safe now, so we just shout. Ain't nobody trying to like rub things in people's faces. I don't think my ex is yet married to that 2-year-old, but from what the Lord showed me, there is going to be, or is already, just an amalgamation of deadbeat men that are literally in currently process of wiping history clean like they're Jesus. They think they can take, remember their sins no more, past, present, and future. Like literally, they are trying to make like Christ and remember their own sins no more. Even Christ never had sins, but you get my point. It better not be my camera. I don't want problems. Yeah, it's not my camera. It's definitely not my camera. I don't want no issues. Anyway, whatever. Yeah, but something smells. Okay, cool. Something is definitely burning, but it's outside. I was like, this thing is too new. It cannot be burning. It cannot be giving me a smell. Okay, cool. Now I think the forest is burning. The fire's outside. Alright, there is like a whole amalgamation of irresponsible souls, a conglomerate of men that have messed up so much with women in the past. Marababa clean slate, and they are using witchcraft to acquire this clean slate. And the clean slate literally involves the incredible and entire and comprehensive, widespread, all-encompassing abandonment of their current children and their current wives. Abandonment, like complete abandonment. Like, these guys that live double lives, proper. Complete abandonment to go and make some other absolutely spring chicken innocent woman the wife that he's gonna love like Christ loved the church, and the children that he's going to raise up in the admonition of the Lord. He's gonna do it right this time around, even though he's 45 and he's had 2 ex-wives and some kids, some of whom are not yet 18. So he could just go and make right there. He could just go and correct things over there. Since you've got like a 15-year-old son, how about you go and spend the remaining years of his childhood, there are 3 left, trying to make amends for the first 15 that you missed. Yeah, but to these guys, it's like, no, but my son is already 50 and he thinks I'm a deadbeat dad, and he doesn't want to listen to me. He ain't taking my calls. Yeah, that is what called making reparations looks like. You might get attitude first, you might get the door slammed on you, but if you keep trying, they might actually take it seriously. And if you keep praying, the Lord might actually give you a relationship with your son or your daughter that you were not in the life of for the first 10 years. Yeah, no, these guys are like, no, but it's just too much work to try and convince this kid that I love them. But hey, you just fall pregnant, and so I will then raise that baby from age 0. Mothatengi is a 19, 20-year-old fresh out of varsity, and she then goes and gets married to a 40-year-old that's got a 14-year-old that he's not taking care of. And he doesn't even want to try because the kid doesn't even want to look him in the eye when he's in the room because he's uncomfortable. That's literally what's currently happening. Men who have got kids that need them, but because they were deadbeat dads, now that they want a clean slate, they literally want to go and grab wives that have got clean slates and start families with them so they can feel better about having abandoned their first batch of kids and wives. And now I am on the receiving end of such a man as that, as those. I might not be a spring chicken 21-year-old wannabe bride, but I am a woman that's never had kids, never been married, and I'm being pursued by men who have got, baggage. Baggage of which is so young that it still needs that. It still needs that. Like, it's 8 years old. Like, it is 17 years old. Like, it might even be 20, but it's yet to get a driver's license. And yet it's yet to get a first job and it's struggling. It might even be 22, but it is struggling to make ends meet. Like, that baggage. These guys are like, no, but I mean, what's my 19-year-old daughter gonna say when I just rock up all these years later and say, little girl, I'm sorry, man, like I wasn't there, but mine starting, I mean, it's never too late. They don't even want to try, or they have tried and they just feel like it's too heavy to keep trying with this girl that gives them attitude and is like, you're not my dad because you weren't here. Where were you when mom had cancer and passed away? You know, don't even call yourself Mikey. Leave me alone. I have to go to the club. I know personally that kids can be softened because I was prepared to make amends with my dad if he wanted to, even all the way up until the age of like 24 or something. Yeah, so I know it's possible to make reparations with a child that might initially reject you because you weren't there at first. But these men, they just want a fresh start because they don't even want to try because it's too hard to have to deal with the attitude of a hormonal teenager that feels all rejected by them. So go and make a brand spanking new baby with Carabo. There is a funny noise coming from my camera. I don't know what that is. Yeah, no, they want to go and make reparations with the crank. Not reparations with the crank, sorry. But like they want to go and make... They want to make Carabo. They want to take Carabo. What does that sound? I can't just continue to speak here because I need to figure out what's going on because it's definitely coming from the camera. 1 minute.